Coming up, we've got 10 awesome tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy S4. Greetings, S4 owners and owners-to-be. I am Chris Wook. I know you're hungry for some tips and tricks, so let's get started with number 1. The Galaxy S4 is already fast, but if you're looking for more speed, we've got a few options. First, if you don't like the slight pause between hitting the home key and actually seeing the home screen, there is a fix. See, tapping the home button twice is a shortcut to S-Voice by default, so it waits a little bit for the second tap. Now, go to S-Voice settings and turn off the Open via the home key option. Now you'll instantly get to the home screen whenever you tap the button. The second is a bit more tricky. First, you want to enable the Developer Options menu. To do this, go to Settings, then More, then About Device. Now find the build number and tap this 7 times. Yes, 7. Now that the Developer Options menu is open, you can go in and turn off Window Animation Scale, Transition Animation Scale, and Animator Duration Scale. Now TouchWiz should feel a bit faster. Battery life is already nice on the Galaxy S4, but there are still a few things you can do to stretch it out which could be crucial for a long day. The first and easiest option is to turn on power saving mode. Go to Settings, My Device, and then Power Saving Mode. You have 3 options. You have CPU and screen power saving, and then the option to turn off haptic feedback. Using all 3 options will provide the best results. Now, if you want to save even more battery life, you can start turning things off. Turning off mobile data will help quite a bit, and then it's kind of up to you. Air gestures, Bluetooth, S-Beam, and NFC are a few options to start with. In the S4's notification dropdown, you've probably noticed the icons at the top that allow you to do things from changing the sound mode to turning Wi-Fi on and off. Chances are fairly good that you use some of these more than others, so why not get them in an order that works for you? Simply pull down the notification pane, then tap the upper rightmost icon. Now tap the icon that looks like a pencil. You'll be able to drag and drop the quick settings buttons and put them in an order that puts your most used settings first. The Galaxy S4's camera comes with more options than ever, although some are arguably more useful than others. Still, there are some steps you can take to make sure you're taking the best photos you can. First, you might want to adjust the photo size and settings. By default, the S4 is set to 9.6 megapixels with a 16:9 aspect ratio. For the best quality, you can switch to 13 megapixels, which uses the more traditional 4:3 aspect ratio. The other settings like ISO and anti-shake are worth exploring as well. Then, you'll want to pay more attention to the modes you're using. Eraser and Drama Shot aren't something you'll probably use too often. Auto might be your best bet, but Beauty Face, Panorama, Sports, Night, and Rich Tone or HDR are all useful. For the most part, you'll probably want to turn the flash off as well. While the S4 has a nice display, there are certain times where you just want to see a photo, video, or game on a larger screen, and there are a few ways to do it. The first and easiest, if you have a Samsung TV or an all-share cast dongle, is to use the built-in screen mirroring feature. Just turn it on and wait for it to find your device. The second option is to use MHL. Now this is the fastest option, but you'll need an 11-pin MHL adapter. Make sure you get the right adapter because a standard 5-pin MHL adapter won't work. The final option doesn't quite work the same way, but it does work as a last resort. DLNA sharing allows you to share from your S4 to other DLNA-capable clients like Blu-ray players, TVs, and other home electronics. This won't mirror your screen, but it will let you access your photos, videos, and music. With the S4, there are a few ways to control who can get in touch with you and when. The first is blocking mode. You can find this option under Settings, then My Device. It allows you to disable notifications, calls, the LED indicator, and even alarms either all the time or between set hours. This is great if you have friends or family who love to send you late-night emails or, even worse, make late-night calls. The second option is better for dealing with specific numbers. To set up automatic call rejection, head to Settings, My Device, and then Call. The easiest and probably most common way to do this is to auto-reject certain numbers only. Just add numbers to your list and they'll automatically be rejected. Optionally, you can also send them an automated message telling them why their call was rejected. By default, the Galaxy S4's lock screen is a little on the boring side. Luckily, it's easy to spice it up by customizing it and adding a few widgets. Head to Settings, My Device, then Lock Screen. There are a lot of options here. You can put application shortcuts or multiple widgets on the lock screen and change whether you want a clock or a personal message. Once you've enabled multiple widgets, you can go to the lock screen itself and either swipe to the left to get to the camera on the screen to the right side, or head in the opposite direction to add your own widgets. Now you can check your email or other messages right on the lock screen. Yeah, the S4 shoots some pretty nice video out of the box, but what if you want to get a little more creative with it? Two of the coolest options are fast motion and slow motion video. You can enable these by opening the camera app, tapping the settings icon, and then the icon that looks like a video camera. Now you can switch between normal, limit for MMS, slow, and fast motion. With slow motion, you can go from half speed all the way down to 1/8 of normal speed. With fast motion, you can go from double speed to 8 times normal speed. Neither of these options will produce video as clear as the normal mode, but they are still fun to play around with. To be honest, I wasn't too sure about the adapt sound feature until I tried it out myself, but after trying, I had to include it in this video. Go to My Device, then Sound, and scroll all the way to the bottom. Make sure to have your headphones handy. What adapt sound does is play a series of tones to test your hearing and to a certain extent your headphones. Just start the test, listen closely, and answer whether or not you heard the sound. After this process is over, you'll have the option to preview the newly adapted sound. For me, the difference was noticeable. Compared to the original sound, the adapted sound sounded clear and more detailed. If you're like me, and I know I am, one of the first things you do on any phone is turn off auto brightness. In this case though, there is actually a good reason for using it, at least occasionally. Users have found that the S4 screen brightness can go higher with auto brightness turned on than you can manually set it yourself. It's probably done this way to prevent damaging the screen. Still, if you're in bright sunlight and having trouble seeing the screen, try turning on auto brightness to see if the screen gets any brighter. And that's it. Hopefully, at least a few of these tips will help you get more usefulness and/or enjoyment out of your S4. If you want a little more detail, we have an in-depth article at AndroidAuthority.com. You can find the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, maybe give it a like or share it with your friends. If you want to stay caught up with all of our videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'm Chris Wook for Android Authority, and as always, thank you for watching.